If you love a floor plan, you're looking at all the great things, but there's other things to uncover. And you want to have someone else on the other side of that asking those questions. Thank y'all for joining the Twincast. It's the podcast where business and faith are our foundation and a good laugh is always on the house. We're identical twin sisters navigating the real estate world one deal at a time. The Twincast starts now. I'm Cherie, your go-to lender helping you with all things finance. And I'm Nicole, your favorite realtor helping you find the perfect place to call home. Okay, so today, Nicole, we're going to ask you this question. As a first-time home buyer perspective, what do you wish you knew before buying your first home? What do you wish you knew? Well, several things that come to mind, but two things that really stand out is one, I wish I would have known the location that I wanted to be, and two, how much money I wanted to spend. I had no idea when I purchased my first home. I looked with two different agents, and the first time I started looking, I looked on a whole different side of town. I had no idea how much money I wanted to spend, and so I was not educated in the home buying process, or even I had no roadmap. Okay, so I can understand how that could be very confusing. And so location matters and affordability matters. And when I say affordability, there's a huge difference between what you feel comfortable making your monthly payment for at, and then what I pre-approve you for. Because I may say that you can, afford $500,000 house, but then you say, Cherie, well, I want my payment to be $2,500 a month. And I say, there's a big difference. So we got to figure out really what do you feel comfortable making your monthly payment? And I know that most agents, or I feel like if you are an experienced agent, you have a lender that you work hand in hand with, and you guys communicate on a very regular basis. And so when I tell you your pre-approval 500,000, I also give you the monthly payment. I'm also communicating that to Nicole so that she can find the right home. So if there's a discrepancy between the monthly payment and the pre-approval amount, we're going to talk. The real estate agent and the lender are going to talk, and we're going to tell you, hey, these numbers aren't making sense. We need to kind of go back to the drawing board. If you want to spend $500 a month, you should expect, a $4,000 monthly payment at least. And if you're okay with that, you like it, I love it. Well, having an expectation. Right. I mean, sometimes, and I hear this often, I don't really have an idea of how much money I want to spend. Or I don't care. Or I don't care. I don't care, and that's just not true. There is some limit. Everybody has a limit. I don't care if you're spending $1 million or whatever you're spending, there is an amount that you are comfortable with. And that's what we are kind of trying to get that question answered from you when we ask you, what are you comfortable paying? Because that will help us guide us. And for a first time home buyer, you really may not, as far as a house at 280, you've only rented, so you don't know what that means. But if you, a good rule of thumb for us, we would ask you, how much do you want to pay? And if you're paying rent, how much are you paying now in rent? Are you comfortable going up $400 or $500 from there? Give us that information. Yeah, if you can give us an idea, look at your budget, talk about your budget, and understand that there are going to be expenses that maybe you don't account for, and you need to give yourself some wiggle room. Life happens. You need to understand you are now becoming a homeowner. There are going to be things that you didn't expect, and we would hate for you to call us and say, hey, I can't make the monthly payment anymore. This came up. Somebody lost their job. Somebody hasn't been working the overtime that they thought that they would be working. And it's very uncomfortable to have that conversation. Thankfully, I have not had to have that conversation that I can remember, but I have heard the conversation many times from other buyers that have called and said, when I bought this house, this is the expectation, and now property taxes are more. Susie lost her job, or whatever may happen, and it's really hard to be in that situation. So give yourself some wiggle room with that monthly payment, and expect that there will be changes along the way. Yeah, having that roadmap in regards to also the location. I have had clients recently come from out of state and aren't familiar with the area. And so they're just driving around looking at neighborhoods, and they see a house that they like, and they like the floor plan. But that's not the only thing that's important to me as a experienced agent, as an agent that cares about my home buyers. I want to know, how long are you planning to be in this home? what is the expectation? Are you planning to be here for a few years? Is this a forever home? And all those things I take in consideration. But even if you said it was a forever home, I still want to know if 2 years for whatever life happens and you call me back, I want to be able to tell you, hey, we'll be able to get your home sold, or at least set the expectation that it's going to take 5 years before you'll be able to maybe break even. Like, I want to be able to provide that information because I feel like it would be invaluable to the consumer. Oh, for sure. Because when they come back, and it's not if, it's when, they will come back and they will have to sell their house or they will want to upgrade their house. And those conversations are going to happen now or later. And we would like you to be prepared for that conversation. Just know that if you buy in this location, this is the statistics of this home selling, and this is how long you would need to be in your home. Because the more information you have, the or knowledge you have, the better that decision is going to feel. The easier. Yeah. It's going to feel easy, smooth, and you're not going to, most likely, you'll have less regret or any regret at all because you were informed while making that decision. And the right agent is going to kind of help you with that information. And if I had known, those kind of questions up front when I bought my home, my first home, I think that I would have felt a lot better about it. Good thing is, when I bought my house, I did buy with an agent that did take care. I mean, we talked to a few different builders, but my daughter was just getting ready to go to school, and he said, well, what school district? And it's crazy enough, I didn't even think about what school district. I didn't even put that into perspective. I just thought, oh, I like this house. This is a nice house. But then when he asked, well, do you want her to go this school district or that school district? Then I thought, oh, well, I'm glad you brought that up. But had that agent not even, if he didn't even ask me that question, it would have looked very different. And I believe I would have had buyer's remorse because I fell in love with the house from just walking in. And you get into these emotions of, I'm about to buy a house, and the excitement, and it's bright and shiny. And so sometimes they're good. Most of the time, it's a good experience with, if you love a floor plan, you're looking at all the great things, but there's other things to uncover. And you want to have someone else on the other side of that asking those questions that you may not have thought about, besides looking at the recessed lighting and the granite or quartz countertops, or the walk-in shower. You're caught up in the big island and those things, but you missed a couple steps in between. Yeah, and that's what the agent's there to do, is to kind of bring those questions to your forefront. And being open-minded really matters, because you'll come into these situations and you're looking at houses and you think, well, I know what I want, and I know how many, what square feet I want, and I know what, you have all these things that you think but if you're not open-minded, you may miss some pieces that would be invaluable and will come back later to haunt you. So I would say be prepared to listen to your agent. Now, you don't have to take all their advice, but you can at least listen and maybe uncover some information that you may not have even thought of. And like I said, I was one of those people. I was open-minded, did listen to the agent, and it saved me, I mean, gosh, thousands. I mean, I think I stayed in my first home for about 5 years, and then kept it and rented it out. And so it was options that, I mean, I really got me into loving real estate, buying, selling real estate, and, using it as investment property. But had that agent not asked me that question, I may not have had that luxury and would have maybe had to spend money that wasn't prepared to do. It can be a costly mistake for sure. Yeah, I would say the same thing. I did work with the second agent. We got a good game plan going. He got me with a lender that was going to tell me how much my monthly payment was. We were already comfortable with paying, rent, and so we had an idea there. But those questions weren't asked the first time around. And then like I said, I was going to be on a completely different side of town. But with working with the second agent, I was able to get I would say I stayed in that home for, gosh, maybe 15 years. It worked out for a really long time. But it was because questions were asked that I didn't think of at the time. Even my mom had input in that situation where she was saying, well, you don't need a 4 bedroom, but it might be nice to have one. And eventually I did grow into the 4 bedroom, but had I not taken that information, I might have missed out on something. And so I would say, like we said, location, approval amounts, get that information up front and be prepared to answer those questions, because it will save you time. It'll also save you a headache,
For
because
sure.
you won't be frustrated when someone says, "Hey, where do you want to be?" Or and get an agent. I mean, you don't need five agents. You only need one. And if that agent, if you know how long it's going to take, if you're in a lease till for 6 months. Well, just say up front, hey, I have a lease for 6 months. I'm working with an agent. I'm not working with an agent. Be prepared to answer those questions. And if you have the answers to those questions, it'll slide off your back like nothing. It just would make the process a lot more smooth. And when you click a button that says that you're interested in a home, be prepared. You're going to get 20 phone calls from real estate agents, from lenders, from, I mean, everybody and their mom about you buying that house. So, but if you answer those questions, yeah, you will be able to tell from the answers that you give the agent whether or not their experience, whether or not their interest, our fiduciary responsibility is to look out for the consumer as an agent. So it's protecting yourself, because as you get comfortable answering those questions, you'll be able to hear their responses and you'll know whether or not they're looking out for you or not. And if you want to work with that agent. And so you have to find the right one, of course. But like Nicole said, if you're asking or knowing those questions and having the answers for them, then it will make the process a lot more smooth. You won't have to be worried about being house poor, and nobody wants to be house poor. I can't tell you how many times that conversation comes up, and I'm explaining to my customers, listen, budget yourself some room. I want you to go on vacation. I want you to be able to eat. Yes, buying a house as an investment, and you may have to make some sacrifices, but we do not want you to be eating sardines every night, and only enjoying your home and not going on those vacations. So having these numbers in front of you, knowing that, having, like Nicole said, that roadmap is going to make this process. I mean, you'll love it. You'll thank us later for sure. 100%. So that's our information that we wanted to give y'all today in regards to your first time home buying. And if you have any questions about being on our show or buying or selling, send us a DM. And until next time, keep dreaming big, planning smart, and remember, with the right team, you hold the keys.